I'm just making this quick video just to show off a couple modifications I made to my Bowflex. This is a Bowflex Ultimate 2. I used to have the old style one that was completely fixated like a chair, upright. And I actually did really like that, but I decided when, I was making a new home gym setup that I was gonna, upgrade. And you can find these generally fairly cheap secondhand. So many people buy them. They either realize it's not free weights and it's not going to give you the same kind of exercise, or like anything workout, they just stop using it and it becomes a very expensive coat hanger, and they generally sell it. So I think I bought this secondhand a couple years ago for like $200 or $300, and I mean, it's like, I think new was like an $1,800 setup, so I definitely made out. I especially love the preacher curl setup there, the leg exercises that are built in. The guy I bought it from actually explained to me that those hooks, which I never realized because I never got a manual with my old one, but that's for chin-ups. And I actually used to hang on to the top bar where you see the Bowflex label on my old one and use that for chin-ups, and never realizing that you could use the hooks holding the actual pull-up bar. So that's just, I guess, a little tip. Actually, it even has like it's nicely set so that way where the curves of the bar are, it doesn't slide around. I don't think that's intentional, but it just does work very well. But anyway, my main complaint with this was always the bench pressing. I'm kind of a big bench press guy, and to be honest, to do any kind of bench pressing on this one, you have to be in this sort of inclined position. And if you're like me, I mean, don't have extremely long arms, and you have to adjust these, and then you're always constantly reaching way back on each side to grab it. And if you have really bad shoulders, like I kind of do, then it becomes very uncomfortable. And if you're doing inclined, then it works great, but you're never going to get like that feeling that you get out of a flat bench. So what I did was, let me just lower this down here just so you can see, which I'm not going to take the time to lock that in place. As you can see, you have the cables that come up this way, and that's generally for doing pull-ups and, pull-ups and chin-ups, but using it for resistance style. What I did was I made these cables. You could just buy this kit right from Lowe's or wherever. It was a couple bucks. I bought this pulley off of, Amazon, but you can get those at Lowe's and Home Depot. And then, believe it or not, especially on this system, I was going to drill holes, but there's actually a hole in this bracket, and I believe this is where the hinge is to swing up. So, I mean, if you fold this thing up a lot, this is probably not going to work for you, unless you can think of you might even be able to just use S hooks that you could take in and out. So what I did was I cut the plastic back here, because it doesn't really do anything, bolted into here, made the cable, and when you do this cable, you want to get it as snug down there as possible. Put the shorter grips on, and now I can lay flat and do a bench. Now, I would show you, but I kind of can't. And to be honest, I don't really think you need to see my face, but I think to do this whole thing, it probably cost me $30-$40. And it would have been cheaper actually if I did it a couple other ways. So you can even find a lot of these eye bolts and clamps cheaper. But the one thing you want to do is make sure that you're getting things that are rated for a decent amount of weight. So I think everything that I bought was rated for like 300 pounds and up, because you figure this thing, I think, does a tension setup of, I think, 300 with the extra bar, rods at the end, that attachment. But the second little modification I did here was, you run out of weight and resistance, and you're going to end up needing more. And I mean, there's other ways you could do it. Bowflex, I think, sells some things, but it's just not worth it. And the rods begin to wear out. So I ended up getting these off of Amazon. They're just regular, resistance bands. And I drilled these two little, eye bolts into the top here, clamped them in. This is kind of something I just did. When I first did it, I wanted to be able to just put the bands through here, and it does fit, but when you get like 3 or 4 in there, it gets really snug. If I was to do this differently, I would probably make these S hooks. I was originally going to do these as S hooks, but then I was afraid, if I let go or it snapped back on me, they'd just bounce out, and I wanted something to hold them steady. I don't think that would really be a problem like I thought it was. So, but you come down here, this is right now, I think, a 30 and a 40. My 50 band is down there for something else. But you add these on here, and I'm telling you, you can really feel the difference. So I just figured that I would put that up for anybody else who has this same machine, and if they wanted to give me any tips or ask any questions on how I did it, let me know.